According to Warren Buffett, there are 10 bad financial habits to avoid. Habits include unconscious behaviors, thinking, and decision-making. Everything has a purpose and an effect. Have you ever wondered why so many of us fail to reach particular goals or milestones in our lives? Even though many people start out with good intentions and set themselves financial goals, but never achieve them and fail badly? The main barrier is caused by our bad money habits, and it's unfortunate that despite all of our efforts, we still come up empty-handed. But by continuing to learn and make wise decisions, you will be able to avoid these pitfalls by watching videos like this one. So before we get started, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon for pop-up notifications for my next videos. Let's take a look at 10 bad habits that are standing in the way of your financial success. Number 1. Don't waste money on unnecessary things. I really desire that luxurious jacket, my favorite. It's expensive. I purchased it. Now what? It's crucial to pay attention to your spending patterns and refrain from splurging on things you don't need. No matter where or how you shop, you can draw inspiration from Warren Buffett's life to see how he is putting it into practice in his own life. This is because we are constantly tempted to spend money on unnecessary items. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy them at all. Just buy them wisely and not extravagantly. Recognize the value of the things you purchase. To make a long story short, buy it if it enhances your life in any way. If it doesn't, don't buy it. High-end clothing, luxury vehicles, and other possessions that don't improve your life are examples of this. Number 2. Don't let fear and greed guide your financial decisions. Investing your hard-earned money can be both frightening and rewarding in terms of increasing your wealth. However, emotional decisions can cloud your judgment and lead to poor financial decisions. It's critical to approach investing with a long-term mindset and not let fear or greed drive your decisions. If this were the case, then Warren Buffett would also lose hope when he was rejected from Harvard. But despite the rejection, he still became one of the world's most famous and wealthy value investors. To become a more effective investor, you must first understand how these two emotions can influence your investment decisions and what you can do to manage them. The best way to make sound decisions is to carefully consider your options and base your decisions on logical analysis. Number 3. Avoid making decisions that always result in failure. Never follow the crowd. Something is not always a good investment just because it is fashionable or popular. Now, in terms of investment, Warren Buffett always gives out advice that involves buying certain stocks just because everyone else is. Do your research before making investment decisions and don't get caught up in the hype. It is critical to think for yourself rather than simply following the crowd. Standing out from the crowd and making unconventional decisions can also be frightening. This attitude can earn you a superior position in life. There aren't many people at the top because the crowd never gets there. They're too busy fighting at the bottom. If you dare to climb that wall, it's much more beautiful on the horizon. Number 4. Avoid taking on too much debt. Debt can be a useful tool, but you must be mindful of how much you borrow and ensure you can afford to repay it. Debt can be extremely damaging. It can literally drive you insane, both mentally and physically. A large debt burden prevents your family from living in the type of home or neighborhood you desire. Debt can also make you feel like you're stuck in an unfulfilling job or are unable to give your kids a good education. In addition, taking on too much debt can lead to feelings of helplessness about your financial situation, which can easily lead to another negative factor, depression. Depression can set in when financial worries make you feel vulnerable and anxious. Believe me, you don't want that. Number 5. Don't let the media or the opinions of others influence your investment decisions. This frequently happens, for example, when scrolling through financial and investing content on social media. Some young guys say it can be difficult not to feel FOMO, and it can feel like you're falling behind or aren't where you should be. As if you will never succeed because you did not make an early investment. People can have an adverse effect on your investment choices, as well as how annoyed you are when they use their witty commentary on you. Wisdom that gives you a punch in the stomach and makes you feel small, not just any wisdom. This is a subtly implied statement that suggests you might be doing something incorrectly or have incorrect beliefs about your investment plans. But don't let them impair your judgment. Instead, Conduct research and base your decisions on statistics and research. Number 6. Avoid making emotional decisions. Spend some time carefully weighing your options and decide based on logic and analysis, rather than letting your emotions dictate your course of action. You will perform better if your emotions do not influence your decisions. It's in our nature to feel emotional, and if you try to stop feeling things, it's kind of pointless. Instead of trying to deny or suppress the emotion, be honest with yourself about what it is. Bubble them up to the surface. Figure out why you're feeling this way. Once you've acknowledged it, you'll be able to control it. Then use your mind to determine the next action to take. When making decisions, keep your emotions out of the picture. Number 7. Do not time the market. It's impossible to predict exactly when the market will go up or down, so it's best to focus on long-term investment rather than trying to time your trades. The truth is that it's impossible to predict when market volatility will end. Investors who believe a strategy change is necessary should consider making gradual changes. And Warren Buffett himself loves it when stock prices drop because it creates opportunities to buy at a discount. You could also wait until the volatility has subsided before making a sound decision, or at least minimize the damage. What you should avoid is succumbing to the siren song of market timing. Number 8. Avoid being too conservative or too aggressive. It's important to strike a balance in your investment portfolio and not take on too much risk or miss out on potential opportunities. When you are concerned about taking risks that could cause your portfolio's value to fall, that means you're more risk-averse and conservative. And it's okay to be conservative with your investments to some extent, but being too conservative can deprive you of potential opportunities. Similarly, taking too much risk can harm your portfolio. Being a risk taker is good because you're looking for growth, but going the extra mile can harm your portfolio. Number 9. Avoid being too diversified. Even though diversification is crucial, having too many investments can dilute your returns and make it difficult to manage your portfolio effectively. The greatest risk of over-diversification is that it reduces your portfolio's returns while doing nothing to reduce its risk. Each new investment you add to your portfolio reduces the overall risk. At the same time, these additions reduce the portfolio's expected return. The other risk of over-diversification is that it diverts your attention away from your top priorities. While being unfocused may cause you to concentrate too much on losing investments and not enough on your goals. Again, Warren Buffett is a living example due to his wise advice. Investors respect him so much that they call him the Oracle of Omaha. Number 10. Don't be focused on short-term results. Warren Buffett once said someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree long ago. It was said that in life, as an investor, you must consider the long-term progression of events. It's important to have a long-term perspective and not get too caught up in the market's day-to-day fluctuations. A short-term focused strategy is just like running with your head down and your eyes fixed on the few meters in front of you. You can run fast and watch where you step, but you have no idea where you're going or what the road will bring. With a short-term focused strategy, you could win all the battles, but still lose the war. The short-term strategy allows for short-term stability and quick wins. However, in the long run, it can cause major issues, so always choose the long term. Now that you know how to avoid these harmful habits that keep you from being successful, it's time to progress in life. That brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and let us know. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our new content. See you soon. Thanks for watching.